The Kelly Cahill Abduction, a night of terror in Victoria, Australia. Few cases in UFO lore have stirred as much intrigue and dread as the 1993 alien abduction of Kelly Cahill. Unlike many encounters, this one was not a fleeting glimpse of lights in the sky or a vague recollection of missing time. This was something far darker, a shared experience. A night of horror that left multiple witnesses with haunting memories, unexplainable injuries, and a chilling tale of shadowy beings that defied the natural world. Before the encounter, life changed for Kelly Cahill was an ordinary woman living an ordinary life. A wife and mother, she had never been particularly interested in the paranormal or UFO phenomena. But after that fateful night in August 1993, everything changed. The woman who once dismissed such stories as nonsense became the center of one of the most terrifying and well-documented alien encounters in Australian history. Before the incident, Kelly and her husband Andrew had attended a casual gathering at a friend's house. The night had been full of laughter and relaxation, a contrast to the absolute terror that awaited them on the drive home. The Cahills were not the only ones traveling on that road that night, nor were they the only ones who would bear witness to something unearthly. The night of the encounter, it was an otherwise ordinary August night, and Kelly and Andrew set off on their drive home from the rural outskirts of Victoria. The road was quiet, the darkness stretching around them like an abyss. But then, something changed. The air grew heavy, the temperature dropping unnaturally as a silent, glowing craft hovered in the sky ahead. At first, the object seemed almost blimp-like, but the more they looked, the more its unnatural nature became apparent. It pulsated, its glow oscillating between an eerie orange and an unholy, piercing white. Before they had time to react, their bodies tensed involuntarily. Kelly felt a strange pull, an intangible force pressing down on her mind, rendering her thoughts sluggish and disoriented. As they drove closer, the craft suddenly disappeared, vanished in the blink of an eye. A cold sense of unease settled over them, but thinking it was over, they continued their journey home. They were wrong. The horror in the field not long after the craft's disappearance, Kelly and Andrew were overcome by an inexplicable compulsion to stop the car. Without understanding why, they pulled over near an empty field. That's when they saw them. Figures, tall, thin, and blacker than the void itself. These weren't the stereotypical grays of pop culture, nor the benevolent star travelers from the imagination of enthusiasts. These were shadow people, entities darker than the night around them, their shapes shifting with an unnatural fluidity. Their eyes, mere slits of red fire, bore into Kelly with malevolence beyond comprehension. She wasn't alone. Across the field, she saw two other cars, their occupants also staring in transfixed horror. Something was happening here. Something beyond human understanding. And then the light came. A blast of white brilliance erupted from nowhere, engulfing the field in an instant. Pain lanced through her skull, her body spasming as she felt herself being pulled, weightless and helpless, into the void. Inside the craft, the alien Kelly's memories of what happened inside the craft were fragmented, as though glimpsed through a shattered mirror. She recalled being inside an immense, sterile chamber, bathed in cold white light. The walls were smooth and metallic, humming with an otherworldly energy. Shadows twisted in the corners, unnatural shapes, moving in ways that defied logic. The entities surrounded her, their forms shifting like living ink. They were tall and thin, at least 7 feet in height, their elongated limbs moving with an unnatural, fluid grace. Their skin, or rather, the void-like material that passed for skin, seemed to drink in the surrounding light. Their eyes, the only truly defined feature, were slits of glowing red, pulsing as if they were alive. Kelly was paralyzed, her body unresponsive as unseen forces restrained her. A sense of absolute dread consumed her. These beings radiated a presence that was neither living nor dead, something beyond human comprehension. She was not simply being watched, she was being analyzed, studied like an insect under a microscope. She saw a table, a cold metallic slab, then pain sharp and electric, pulsing through her body. Kelly's consciousness flickered in and out, but in brief moments of clarity, she saw the shadow people looming over her, their fingers long and skeletal, tipped with what appeared to be razor-thin appendages that moved with terrifying precision. They traced symbols onto her skin, symbols that seemed to glow with an energy beyond human understanding. At one point, she felt something press against her stomach, a searing force that left a deep ache. A device of unknown origin hovered above her, its tendrils reaching down, cold and probing, pressing against her abdomen. She felt as if something inside her was being altered, as though her very essence was being rewritten. Her mind screamed, but her body remained frozen. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, everything went black. Theories and connections to other Kelly Cahill's experience bore eerie similarities to other well-documented abduction cases. The Allagash abductions 1976, in which 4 men in Maine described being subjected to medical experiments aboard an alien craft, included similar descriptions of telepathic control, missing time, and unexplainable marks left on their bodies. The Betty and Barney Hill case 1961, one of the most famous alien abduction stories, also included details of strange symbols, intrusive examinations, and an overwhelming sense of being chosen by an intelligence beyond human comprehension. Some researchers speculate that the shadow people seen by Kelly Cahill might be an evolved or alternative form of the Greys' interdimensional entities rather than extraterrestrials, capable of manipulating human perception and bending reality itself. Others believe the beings are part of a larger, more sinister force, something ancient and deeply connected to humanity's forgotten past. The haunting Kelly Cahill's story is one of the most sinister and credible encounters in UFO history. Her experience, shared by multiple witnesses, remains one of the most unsettling alien encounters ever recorded. Decades later, the memory of that night still lingers like a bad dream. And somewhere, perhaps just beyond the veil of our understanding, the shadow people wait, watching, waiting for the next unwitting traveler to stumble into their grasp. And when they do, the darkness will close in once again. My name is Penny Flick, with Kreep-ish. I'll be back with more stories that challenge our perceptions, question reality, and keep us peering into the darkness of history. Comment below on your thoughts. What stories intrigue you the most? What mysteries do you want to uncover? Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.